Good morning. Today is day 55 of recording myself every single day on my journey to becoming a professional soccer player, a business owner, and just a better version of myself. I was recording the last few videos and I realized that I don't have an intro in any of them, so I decided that I might as well record one today because I feel like it makes the video a lot better, giving like a little bit of an introduction of what I'm trying to do for the day. It is currently about 8 a.m. I woke up, I've edited yesterday's video, and then I'm uploading it to post it right now, so day 54. And then I'm planning on making breakfast, then walking to the gym, which is about a 30-minute walk, but I'm gonna spend that time trying to listen to a Spanish podcast so that my Spanish can be a little bit better by the time I get back, especially if I'm gonna be joining a better team. I'm not really sure how good their English is gonna be, but I think it makes it more likely for the coaches to choose me if I have the ability to communicate effectively with them, and that requires me to be a little bit better at Spanish. Other than that, I want to do the startup school past. I want to do the past startup school, so the Gen AI version, and then I want to do some work on the calendar. I want to get juggling and maybe some dribbling in. Not sure if I'm going to be able to fit everything in the same day, but I'm going to try, and that requires me to not really have that much rest, but that's okay. I do have to figure out lunch and dinner, but otherwise, I hope I can get everything in. I have to be obsessed and not really take any time to rest, but I think that's kind of the life I want, so I'm happy with it. I'll try to record as much as I can throughout the day, but I'll talk to y'all later.
Feet post juggling. Holy shit.
Hello, actually I have no idea what fucking day it is. I think it's day 55 of recording myself every single day. I already had an intro, so I'm not gonna do that, but I do have a little bit of things I wanna talk about. My computer is dead, so I don't have the little screen behind me, but I have my little journal, so I do have my prompts of what I wanna say. First, I'll start with a little recap of the day. Woke up, made breakfast, although that took a while because I'm still settling in. Don't have a gym membership yet, don't have all the cooking supplies that I need. This apartment isn't really built for someone to actually live in here. It's more so built for us to come stay. Well, my grandparents have it for people to come stay for a day or two and then go out into the city if they want to. There's restaurants around here. So typically, I think I'm the first person who's actually ever cooked here. So I had to buy a few things like spices and food and olive oil. So olive oil is not spice, but just like general cooking materials that you would use on a regular basis if you do cook. So it's taking a little bit for me to fully get everything. I'm not done with everything. I still have a little bit to do, but I did want to talk about specifically settling in. Although I know I'm not gonna be perfect, especially in these first few days, because I have to adjust to a new living style, the places around me, as well as the cooking arrangement. But so far, I think it's been pretty good. I did go out to try to find a gym today, and then they told me it was €100 for a 1 month fee. So I was like, fuck that, and walked back home. It was a 30-minute walk there, 30-minute walk back. And so it just took a lot of time. It was a really nice walk though. I really like Croatia. I think it's a beautiful city I like Dubrovnik. It's a very beautiful city to walk through. And especially I was on the water a little bit, so I could see the like water with the mountains and houses in the background. I might get a video clip of it today so y'all can see it. So you will see what I'm referencing. But I've been watching these videos, and when I'm watching these videos, I can tell myself saying but and like conjunction transition words a lot, and I really want to stop doing that because I think it takes away from me speaking clearly, and I want to be able to articulate a little bit better than I currently do. So I have to think of myself whenever I'm doing these words. Moving on, although it takes a little bit for me to settle in and get into my regular routine, making a lot of progress every day, it takes a little bit to settle in. Because of that, I don't want to allow myself to waste time when I shouldn't be doing it. Things are going to take more time here, especially because it's the same first time I'm doing everything. But I want to make sure I'm not just wasting time when I know I shouldn't be. And I think it's important when you are moving to a new place to not allow yourself to waste that time that you can, trying to help yourself get into a routine. Moving on, I did mention it on the way to the potential gym. it was a 30-minute walk, and I've decided to use that time. I found a podcast to help me learn Spanish called Coffee Break Spanish, and it really fills the gap of my Duolingo lack of conversational skills. So I'm gonna try to listen on that. It's 30 minutes there, 30 minutes back. I can get through 2 episodes per walk, so like 4 episodes in total, and they really prompt you to speak out loud. So I'm walking on my way to the gym, and I'm talking out loud to myself, but I don't really care. I would rather be embarrassed in the fact that I'm talking out loud a different language in front of these random ass people than be in Spain and not be able to talk, and it's gonna hurt me if I'm not able to communicate with my teammates. Especially if I'm trying to move up levels, I have to know how to communicate, and I think it's just gonna hurt me if I don't know it. So I'd rather take the embarrassment of talking in public to people I'm never gonna see again than not knowing the language to people I'm gonna see on a regular basis. I really wanna learn 3 main languages. So English, I'm already proficient. Spanish, I'm learning, and then Croatian. Mainly because it like goes back to my roots, and I wanna be able to communicate with the friends I've made here, but I can't right now, and it's kind of embarrassing, honestly. I was at the grocery store today, and this woman like talked to me. It happened twice because I went to multiple grocery stores, and this woman started talking to me in Croatian, and I had zero clue what she's saying. I bet my eyes were like fully white because it's like I'm a deer in headlights. I have zero clue how to communicate, and I feel embarrassed that I don't know how to communicate when it's literally half of my bloodline, and I'm living here, and I've lived in Croatia for over a year of my life, and yet I don't know a lick of the language. So once I'm proficient in Spain, I don't know how long that's gonna be, but once I'm at a point to where I feel like I can reasonably communicate with the people around me, especially in a soccer setting, I'm going to find a podcast in Croatian, and in my downtime, I'm going to, typically when I'm traveling to somewhere that I can like talk out loud, I'm going to try to listen to the podcast. But my original point with the podcast was I want to turn my downtime into due time. And they say this in the Coffee Break Spanish a lot. And I was like, holy shit, like that's what I'm trying to do. And I feel like I'm effectively doing it by trying to learn a second language. And I want to continue to do that, whether it's going to the grocery store or cooking or something else. Maybe it might be best for me to have that time to just like think, but I don't know. I just want to be the best version of myself, and I think that trying to push in all those areas will make me a better person. If I know 3 languages, it's better than if I know 1. And I think listening to music is just not very good for me. It takes away from the time I could be listening to a podcast. So I'd rather learn more than have like a little bit of enjoyment, which is okay. A big problem I've had with today is honestly my self-image. So I was looking at myself in the mirror, and I've always had a lot of acne, especially, it kind of differs where on my face it appears, but recently it's appeared especially on my jawline and like the lower half of my face, as well as my back. You can't see it now because I have a shirt on, but on my back, especially in the upper portion, I've always had acne. So I took pictures of myself. I took a front on, a side, a 45-degree angle, and then a side on, uploaded it to ChatGPT, and gave it some more information about my experience with dermatologists. I've gone to 3 or 4 dermatologists. I've had antibiotics and Accutane work, although I had to stop Accutane because I had side effects. But a lot of these dermatologists, they just don't listen when I tell them, oh, I've been on different topicals. They don't fucking work. There needs to be a like different change, and ChatGPT actually fucking gave it to me. It talked about diet changes that I can make, like stop eating dairy, as well as using healthier options and less, I think it's glycemic foods. And the examples that they had were rice and bread. So it suggested alternatives such as brown rice and whole grain pasta, because I eat a lot of those too. And then also I'm going to try to cut out dairy, and it said to try it for 4 to 6 weeks. And then after 4 to 6 weeks, so at the end or start of next month, I'm going to look at my progress and see how it is. Although it is hard because I think my skin is very cyclical, in that there's 2 weeks where it will look great and then 2 weeks where it will look really bad like this. But I also was looking at myself in the mirror and I was like, fuck, bro, I feel like I look kind of fat. And I want to, if I have like proper lighting, then I feel like I look like I have abs, but I want to look like I have abs. I want to look good in any lighting. So I also want to like eat healthier. When I'm going out, I'm just going to make a change like incrementally at a time. So I'm starting with changing the foods that are going to be more better for my goals of looking a little bit slimmer, athletic, as well as foods that aren't going to give me like acne breakouts. So those are my 3 goals right now, but I'm someone who's not going to love themselves just because I tell myself I love myself. I have to like see the actions I take or how I physically look, which kind of reflect the actions that I take, and from that I derive self-love. So I have to be better at the actions that I take so that I can be more confident in myself, and then I think confidence is really important in allowing you to do whatever you want to do. And then finally, I think I wrote this down yesterday, but I didn't want to talk about it because it was not epiphany, but just like thought I had during the day. And I kind of wanted to save that for my reflection. I wanted to save yesterday's video for my reflection in Spain. But I think a really important thing that a lot of people don't really understand, and I feel like I don't truly live this either, is that you have to become the person before the success. So what that means is that before you get any of the material success or whatever goal you have, any success towards that you want, you have to play the part of someone who would be successful in that role. So if you want to be the best soccer player in the world, you have to train more than anyone. You have to eat well. You have to watch tape. You have to do all these things that other people aren't willing to do. And you can't just wait until you get to the position, you get the success in order to do that. You have to do that before, and then once you get there, you have to continue and do even more so that you can widen the gap and not allow anyone to catch up to you. What this means for me is that I have to be an extremely disciplined person now, especially since I have multiple areas that I really want to improve in, really want to work really hard in. I have to be an extremely disciplined person. I can't allow myself to be that indulging person that I have been. I have to do a better job at becoming the person who takes the actions that a successful person would do. So I can't wait until I'm successful. I can't wait until I'm on a good soccer team. I can't wait until I have a business. I have to do the actions that I would do if I was running a really big like company, or if I was on a really good soccer team, or if I was the best version of myself. I have to do the actions that version of me would do. So I'm going to work to be that person, and I have to do that now so that when I am successful, another thing that if you get the success before you become that like idealized version, you'll fall back, or not even fall back. You'll still have those bad habits that you had when you were making your way up. So I think this is really common in people who get really distracted with women. I think it's just a really easy thing to talk about. If you don't really conquer like your lust, and that's something that I'm trying to work on right now, you're still gonna fall back into getting distracted either with women. I think everyone's heard like a story about a man who had a lot of potential but fell off because he got into like drugs and partying and women. Not to say like women are the problem, but the wrong woman could very well be the problem. I have to do a better job of looking, if I am looking for someone, which I'm not right now, looking at someone for who they really are, and if I could be successful with them at my side. I mean, that's not only romantically. I think in friendships, that's really important to keep the people who bring you up around you. And if the people around you aren't helping you, to kind of slowly move away from them in a respectful way, but still move on if you do, like, if you're obsessed about being the best. If you just want like a little bit of success, a little bit of a better life, I don't think these videos are for you, honestly. I think this is for people who want to be at the top and want to be the best. But I just did it again. When I said, but we'll see, I say it even regularly. I caught myself. I almost did it there. I also do it a lot when there's pauses. I stop to pause, and then I'll say or but or and then I'll continue on my sentence or my thought after the little pause. I want to get better at not using those words kind of as a crutch, and just get better at continually speaking without having filler words that really don't add anything to the conversation. I want my words to have a lot of meaning behind them, and having filler words, having words that don't really add to what I'm saying, I want to get rid of. That is all I have for today. Day 55 complete. Still working on what I'm trying to record to edit. I did do my juggling today. It was actually really interesting. I created a more complex plan because I have a lot more time now. So, and then I also decided how I'm going to record it. So I have, I think, like 13 different variations in a 2-hour window, and I'm no longer tracking time. I'm tracking attempts instead, because it's not about me trying to meet the time quota. It's about me trying to meet my targets, and recording how many attempts it takes me to get there does the same thing as recording the time. Plus, it's better for tracking metrics as I move up through my targets. So I've changed the way of, instead of doing like an hour and 30 minutes, I know generally it's going to take me 2 hours, and then I just record the attempts and then the max reps that I got in the time that I completed it, and then little notes. And then I also have it on an Excel spreadsheet instead of on my notebook, because it's a lot easier to copy and paste each day. I don't have to write it out. I feel like I usually say, okay, that's all I have for today, and then I'll add like another minute or two of things that like come into my head right before I want to end the video. However, different transition word. However, this is the real end of day 55, recording the day in my life. Thank y'all for watching, if you did watch, and I hope you got some value from this. And then I'm gonna try to continue to be better, get a little bit better every day. I think I did get better from the previous day, but I still have a lot of improvement to be who I want to be. Trying to reduce as much time as I can, or trying to have the biggest incremental gains, going to try to have the biggest incremental gains between days, so that I can become that idealized person, the successful person before the success, as fast as possible. So I need an outro, but that feels so cringe. Thank y'all for watching. I hope you got some value out of this video, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.